Welcome once again to the Sage. Thank you for being with us. Thank you because I'm sure many of you were with us last episode when we had a wonderful young creative, I call her an artist. She calls herself a fashion designer with us on set. If you were with us and didn't miss any of it, you will know I'm already talking about Chizoba Okolo. If you did miss last week's episode, please do go to our YouTube, displayed on the screen, where that episode is, and all our other episodes are available. Chizoba, welcome once again on set. If you remember, she's a fashion designer. She is the CEO of SMEs Couture and been at it now doggedly for over 5 years.
Yes.
She was a C4C fellow. She is also a C4C facilitator. Is now works with us as we do new programs to teach and empower the younger fellows, the ones that have come after her. Chizoba, thank you. Welcome once again.
Thank you very much, Ma.
So last week, Chizoba told us how she came to be what she is. She's an economist, by the way, who ended up being largely a fashion designer. What got her to this point in her journey? This time I turn to you and I say, when we talk about it, it sounds glamorous, but we want more details. We want you to share with us and our audience some of the day-to-day experiences that you live through really as a fashion designer. Have there been ups? Have there been downs? What are the things that some of the experiences that have made you so most excited? But surely there must have been also experiences that can, push you down, And how have you navigated the waters?
Thank you very much for having me once again. Okay, so yes, in the world of fashion, it's not generally very easy. When you see a dress, sometimes people, even before I came into the business, I would say it's not just to make a dress. But when you go into the business and you start doing it, even the fabric collection, even the putting the fabrics together, is very tasking. I can stay a whole day just sorting fabrics. In sorting of fabrics, does this match? Can I do this? Can I put this together? It's tasking. It's brain tasking. You find yourself at the end of the day, when you sleep that night, you sleep like someone who went to the farm.
Really?
Yes, because you used your brain so much, and then you have to, sew, cut, iron. So it's really very stressful. But what gives me joy is I want to see what it now looks like. So it keeps me pushing. You have to see what this looks like. And then I've had customers. I've had lovely customers. And I've also had some disgruntled customers too. I wouldn't say that, yes, every customer I satisfied. Yes, there will be some that maybe you just didn't understand what they wanted. That's how I put it. You probably didn't understand what they wanted and they were not satisfied. So they'll be disgruntled a bit and they wouldn't be so satisfied. But sometimes I try to maybe talk to them, please, sorry, maybe I didn't understand what you said. I'm sorry I didn't do this. But maybe next time I'll get to do this. And then sometimes when they come back, I do a bit of discount for them. So it makes them happy, and then make sure that this time around.
I interrupt at a risk. Hold on to what you're just saying, but let me underscore the two very important things that came out of what you said, which you yourself may not have realized. You said, I may not have understood them. That is a frame of mind that is very important for a successful entrepreneur. You haven't said some customers who don't describe what they want properly, and you said, maybe I haven't understood them. And that's important because it means that your response to them is, I'm sorry, perhaps I didn't quite get what you want. It's always respectful to your clients, your relationship with your clients, remain positive and respectful. And so that is important. And you also slipped in something about compensating them in some way, finding a way to reach out to compensate and reward for and soothe the dissatisfaction that there was. So 2 wonderful bits of advice, gems of advice that have come out indeed from what you said.
Yeah.
Please go on.
So it's been a roller coaster. And then, I also have people who work with me, like I told you. If you're in this fashion world, at some point you're going to have to expand. If you're a fashion designer and you're watching now, and maybe you're just sewing alone by yourself, at some point you need to. Because when one person sees your outfit, another person sees your outfit. Oh, I like this dress. Well, maybe for you. Where did you get it from? Oh, can I get? So at some point you need to manage your customers, and only you cannot manage it yourself. So you'd have to have workers who work for you. At the moment, I have about 2 staff who work with me and are paid salaries. So at some point you'd have to have that expansion. Now you'd also have, as a fashion designer or as the owner of the brand, you'd also have to take liability for any mistake that those tailors may make.
Okay.
So I may make a dress for you, or my tailor makes, and then it just doesn't hit the nail on the board. Oh, that's not what. I can't say, oh, it's my tailor that made it. It's me that made it. So I'm sorry that it came out, in this way. And then there's some customers too who don't have the time or strength to do fitting. You just have to find a way to make sure that dress fits. Oh, Ma, come for fitting. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, I'm busy. I'm this. So sometimes you have such customers. And then you're trying to check the measurement. Oh, this has to work. This has to, because person is too busy to come in for fitting. But lovely, I love the ones that take out the pains. They'll come up for fittings and make sure that the clothes are fantastic. Then I love styling people for weddings, for their big days. I'm happy when they're wearing their dress and I love it. Oh, this wedding I'm going to slay. So it gives me that joy that, this wedding. I had one customer one time, I made this beaded dress, corset dress for her. And then she just stood, and after wearing the dress, fitting, she just said, I'm going to slay today. I'm like, oh my God. And she was dancing. She said she was going to take plenty of pictures. She was going to send me, and she really sent me a whole lot of pictures because she was really, really happy with the dress. So I like when I have customers like that. And then we also bead. At SMEs Couture, we do a lot of beading, and beading is quite time consuming, and it also comes out beautifully well. So we've really expanded. It's no more that tabletop machine that was in my house 5-6 years ago. Now there's a store at somewhere in local Goma, Sunnyvale Axis. There's a store where we make clothes and we sample and we sell to people, and where we receive our customers and our clients. So by God's grace, we're big.
Tax you and say, is there any particular incident you look back to and say, that was one of the most trying experiences that I have had, to share with us?
Okay, yes. So a customer of mine was going to travel, and she was traveling out for her son's wedding, and we had to make the dress. And then I don't know what happened with the tailor. I don't know. I wouldn't say, we were doing the work together, and then I think he went to iron, and then material got burnt. And I'm like, this is the mother of the groom. Where am I supposed to start from? So I was like, okay. And it wasn't where it got burnt, I needed to replace. There was no other pieces to replace because the pieces were, I had to go and start looking for the fabric at the market. I went to Lucin Market, I went to Gariki Market, and I didn't have all of that time because she's traveling out very soon. The wedding was supposed to be in the US. So you can imagine how confused, how at some point in Lucin Market, I sat down and started crying because I was tired. I wasn't crying because I was just crying because I was tired. I was exhausted. I couldn't find what.
And there has also to be pained on her behalf. Because
I hadn't broken the news to her.
Oh yeah, when you do, she's going to go into a panic herself.
Because she's trying to gather so many things she's going to use to travel for her son's wedding. And then I come and say, Ma, your dress is burnt. And when you're almost done with the dress, that's when it got burnt. So you can imagine that we're going to losing a lot of stitches just to replace. And the color of the dress wasn't a regular color. I wouldn't say it was pink, it was blue, it was green. It was one of the shades of green. And that shade of green is not a popular, it's not like the emerald green or the Nigerian green or the sea green or the lemon green. It's a shade of green that I don't even know the name. So, okay, let me look for another fabric that's similar to it. It was a problem. At some point, I sat down and I said, should I just buy
it was probably a sage green. You know, the word sage is a color too.
Yes, I think it was similar to the sage green. At some point, I said, should I just tell this woman that, can I buy you a new judge? And me buying her a new judge is losing her entire business and losing like two other, because I'm going to take my profit from this one's and employ it to hers. But it was her son's wedding. I wasn't going to disappoint her. So I found a green that could go. At some point, 2 days later, I found a green that could go. And then I tried to work something out. When she came, she asked, why did I change her style a bit? And I was like, Ma, the dress got burnt. So, but we had to change just to see how this now comes out. I noticed she wasn't so happy, because she already had what she wanted in her hand.
Probably like collecting accessories and things to go with it.
Yeah. And I had tweaked it a bit. But she said, okay, it's still fine, but it's not what I wanted.
Oh.
At that point too, I broke down within me. When she left, I just got in the car and went home. I went to cry because I felt like after suffering for how many days, she wasn't even still happy. And it's not her fault. It's not her fault, because she didn't expect, we didn't have that discussion that this was going to be in the outfit. So that's fashion for you. Sometimes what you think it will be, may not be. Sometimes when people see maybe a brooch on a dress, they say, oh, I want that brooch, I want this design there. Sometimes the tailor maybe bonds the dress along the line and is using something to make it look different. So sometimes it's not what you envisage that it comes out as. Yes, but she still wore the dress for the wedding, because she still sent me pictures, and she looked very happy on that day. But that point I just broke down, because I felt like after suffering, I still went to the market for 2 days looking for a fabric, and something popped up in my head and was like, are you expecting her to be very happy? So, but it's okay. At least she took the dress and she wore it, and she danced, and she wore it, so she'll be okay. So I said, okay, fine.
And we want to commend you. We want to commend you for, yes, it was traumatic, but for making every effort not to disappoint this mother. For many of us, I have married off my 4 children, so I know what it is to be the mother for either the bride or the groom on their special day, and how important it is to us. But I don't want to leave our audience depressed. Let me say, you've shared a hard time. Can you share a really happy time in terms of outcome?
Oh, okay, so a very happy time would be, like I said, I like when I make people's clothes. Like I have a customer that would say that, I'm using this dress for my photo shoot for my birthday. I'm using this dress for my sister's wedding, for my sister's child education, So one day she was like, I need you to start making, you've not started making this one. And I'm like, Ma, have I ever disappointed you before? She's like, no. So I'm like, calm down. So I like the fact that many of my customers know that I wouldn't disappoint you, especially when it's your big day. So that's one thing I tell people, especially upcoming fashion designers. Try not to try, even if you can't make, even if it's only 10 outfits you can make, try not to disappoint people, because some of them are using them for their child's wedding, their photo shoots, and that's what they already have in their head that they've planned out to wear. And then you come and then your shop is locked because you want to disappoint somebody. So I tell people, try not to. Even if that's one thing that people take from you and say, oh, SMEs Couture, even if they have my clothes for this, they wouldn't disappoint me for my events.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That is wonderful. So that is where we are today. Can I now turn to you and say, what are your plans for expansion? Let me remind you your receipt for C Child. We always expect expansion. Where do you see yourself? How do you hope to grow within the next 2, 3, 5, 10 years from where you are now?
Okay, so like you talked about the textile industry, I started thinking about that baby some years ago, about 2 years ago. And I thought about it, like, what would it take to have a textile industry? To create my own fabrics, to have my own materials, even if they're Ankara pieces, I would really, really, really love to have, So that's one expansion I'm thinking of in the long run. I know that it's a big child, but I have that dream of having a textile industry one day. Yes.
Absolutely, and I think that is so worthy. You know what? Part of the privileges I think I've been blessed with is the opportunity in the course of my career as a professional to travel extensively across the world, particularly within Africa. And I know that a passion for me was collecting the various African fabrics as I went from one country to the other, whether it's Senegal or Gambia, name it. And so I am aware of the fact that African fabrics are rich in variety, texture, variety, designs, were many times even more bold than our Western counterparts. And so I second that dream. I hope someday, indeed, that you will focus and think about Chizoba fabric that when people wear, when your customers wear, they will keep asking, where did that come from? I hope I've stimulated you to think about it.
Yes, you have, and I'm really looking forward to that. Yes, you have. And I also have, like I said, I've thought about it a couple of times, so I know that one day it's in the pipeline. One day we'll see that fabric.
Yeah, and I am here. Let's discuss it the day it comes, because even within Nigeria alone, we have such a rich variety.
Yes.
You see, you could do something, whether it's an ashoke or whether it's tie and dye or adire and so on. Within us, and we also have the African print, but to find something that is that is unique, that also sells you, so that whatever you make, combining your talent for actually the making of it, whoever sees somebody wearing it, would say,
oh yes, this is Chizoba.
Yeah, that is Chizoba, and look for Chizoba to be able to replicate it.
Yes.
So those are ideas, throwing our thoughts out there and to say it's a great idea. Yes. Think about it. It will respond to your own creativity that is innately in you, but also provide a great deal of distinction and uniqueness.
Yes.
to your customers.
Yes, it will.
It's exciting. It's exciting, and I'm sure you've given great ideas to our viewers, to our audience. Let me, as we think about winding up, every good thing has to come to an end.
Yes,
we can discuss for hours more. But what would you say to many of our viewers who are looking at you? And like I said, a huge number of them actually are interested in this fashion business. What would be your advice to them in terms of embarking into it, and advice to them in terms of succeeding, what they should do to ensure success and to sustainability? a few last words to add.
So, fashion is, like the name implies, is not a very easy world of business, because what you like is not what I may like. But what I can tell you for sure is, let it be your passion, let it drive you. I don't know what pieces I'm going to produce tomorrow, but I know that I have to make pieces after the show. I have to make dresses, because that's what I do. Let it drive you. What do you love doing? How do you love placing them, and drive for it, because you might have an idea, oh, I'm going to make this dress. What if the dress doesn't sell? So let your passion drive you, let your widen your horizons, look at other people's fabrics, their collections. It helps to guide you that you're not in the space alone, and you're sharing that space with everyone, so that when you put pieces together and have outfits, they would sell. And then you need to be marketable, You need to be able to hold your customers together, have space for all of you to. There's a lot of space, a lot of little water or ocean that everybody can swim in, So understand your own customers. Don't feel like, oh, Vicky James customers are my customers, or they should be my next target. Have your own customers, build your own clientele, build your own market, and your own clientele will work for you. It would, whenever you make pieces for them, they would love it. Yes.
Beautiful. I think there's so many words of wisdom embedded in that. Your own clientele. To indeed have people you can claim are your clientele, reliability is an important underscore.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
That means you don't disappoint them. And I know you brought that out when you said to the lady, your client, have I ever disappointed you? That is so important, because I know from experience that people have complained that the greatest problem with designers and tailors are their inability to deliver as at when promised. So your own clientele that go to you because they know you will know what they want and you will not disappoint them.
Yes.
So very important. And let me also encourage many of our viewers to say that, like she said, it's a huge playing field. We all wear clothes, and therefore there'll always be people looking for something to satisfy them in terms of looking good, in terms of wearing clothes. And let me also say that there's a spiritual thing to it, actually.
Yes, there is.
When you dress that person well, it lifts you increase the happiness, the joy, Like you said, the person that says, I'm going to rock this party. Yeah, let's not underscore the importance of our ability to make the life of another richer and happier, particularly in these hard times. And in doing it, enrich our own pockets and feed ourselves and our families. Thank you for having been with us. It's been a sheer pleasure talking to Chizoba Okolo, beautiful couture, on this very absorbing topic. Stay with us. We shall be coming back to you in future with more stories of successful enterprises that are key to the development of this country, key to the sustainability of our economic progress, key to enriching ourselves and helping us to feed ourselves and our families. I thank you. See you next time.